Good morning, everyone. How you guys doing? Today is Thursday, April 5th, on another beautiful Aries seasonal day. How y'all doing today? How y'all doing? We got our moon still chilling up in Sagittarius, and we're at a really interesting degree today. Now, I realize that today's time for the chart is technically a couple minutes before this episode go live, which I'm kind of a little bit curious about, but I felt like of all the aspects that could be going on today, I really wanted to address this particular aspect. Even though it's a little early in the day, I still do not, I still believe that it carries over for the day itself. So, okay, what are we talking about, right? Let's go ahead and jump into this real quick here. So we have the moon over at 15 degrees in Sagittarius. Of course, we're still chilling in Sag. Now, there are three really important degrees every time we talk about astrology. 0 or 1 sometimes, but mostly 0, 15, and 29. 15 is the halfway mark in a sign. Now, 15 is really important because it's essentially the center energy of a sign. Anything that is 14 or lower or 16 and higher generally tends to be slightly influenced by the neighboring sign. So for example, if you have a planet that is in very high degrees or very low degrees of a sign, you'll realize that even though you take in primary energy from the sign that it's in, it also takes in energy from the sign that it neighbors, right? With the moon being at 15 degrees here, we are literally at the very center of Sagittarius, and this is when a sign is at its strongest. Now, why would I be mentioning, a moon transit at 15 degrees, right? There's no necessarily big reason to. Well, I want you to look at the aspects that this moon in 15 is making. It's making a square to Neptune in 15 degrees, and it's making a trine to the sun in 15 degrees. We have moon, sun, and Neptune all at the same degree at the center of their signs. That's pretty huge. That means these three signs right now are at their critical moment. Now, obviously, the moon does move a little bit quickly, so it's going to be leaving rather, by the time even this episode comes out, it could already be at 16 degrees. So, it's not going to stay here for long, but that energy is potent and is kind of like, how do I say this? It concentrates and then disperses throughout the day. So that energy is what we're going to be seeing throughout the day. And, our emotions are going to be at the center of Sagittarius. Our desires are going to be at the center of Aries. And Neptune is the slowest of the three. Neptune's going to stay in 15 degrees for a long while. So definitely Neptune being at the top of his game in the middle of Pisces, which it rules. Neptune right now is at its peak. This is peak. The only other time that Neptune is going to be at a notable degree is again when it gets to the 29th degree, which is actually where Chiron is now. So again, Neptune is at peak at the moment, being in that 15 degrees. Things like this really kind of just, scream to me, being authentic, be willing to go with the flow with how things are going, and don't be afraid to be a bit creative about what you do. At a day like this, the two keywords are authenticity and creativity. Those should be your two power words of the day. For air people out there that work with air magic and they love affirmations and stuff, those are your two words of the day: authenticity and creativity. Very powerful words, very representatives of their two signs, which is Sagittarius and Pisces. And I would go as far as to also add in free flowing, which would be Sagittarius. Sagittarius is very much, let's go with the flow. I want to do what other people are doing. That looks fun. I want to be a part of it. So definitely just, kind of go with the flow today and use a bit of your own creativity to solve problems in a unique way. Being able to resolve any type of barriers or boundaries, or actually, I wouldn't even say boundaries, just kind of barriers or issues that may pop up today. Be more creative in your approaches, right? Don't do things the way they've always been done just because it's always been done that way. And instead, kind of think about and meditate it for yourself and realize, is there another way that I can do this that is different than the standard way? Because that's going to help you a lot. Now, interestingly enough, today we will be featuring, or we will be sponsored by a Grand Fire Trine. We have the Sun in Aries, the Moon in Sagittarius, and the North Node in Leo. And the three of them, when come together, make a Grand Fire Trine. So, really powerful energy today. This is explosive. We had a very powerful Grand Fire Trine last year, for most of the year, really, which was fantastic. Definitely gave us all that fiery energy to essentially awaken. Last year was a huge awakening moment in many people's lives, and it was quite an interesting thing to witness, but also be a part of, because last year was the year that I did pick up astrology, and even though I've been doing this for a short amount of time, I feel like I've absorbed lifetimes amount of information. I've gone from like the 101 courses to like the 369 upper level courses of now we're going through the deep stuff. So when I tell you that, I've also been a member of this huge awakening, I could definitely tell you with a, straight up confidence, yeah, I've definitely been a part of this awakening. And when I see Grand Fire Trines, I just see that spark inside, right? Some people like to think of their soul as a small flame that represents them. And that's kind of what I get every time I get a Grand Fire Trine. It's like, the soul is ignited and wants to awaken and burn with that passionate flames of courage, authenticity, expansive. Fire definitely wants to grow big. You throw some oil on it and that motherfucker will go up stories high. So fire always wants to flow, wants to burn, it wants to be ignited. And so getting Grand Fire Trines like this definitely makes us feel very good, especially because it's three very important signs. Literally the Moon, the Sun, and the North Node. These are three important signs. So having these three buddies all in a Grand Fire Trine is stupendous. Very good shit. I love it. Keep giving me more of this. Aside from this energy, I also do want to talk about how Venus is very much approaching her trine with Saturn in just a little bit here. And actually talking about Saturn, Saturn's going to be going stationary very soon here. In fact, I would not be surprised if some people are already saying that Saturn is stationary right now, because it's not going to get to the 10th degree. This is it. This is the last degree that Saturn is going to reach. Later this month on the 18th, Saturn is going to begin its retrograde phase, which we're going to talk about once we get there. Saturn will be coming down in degrees, and Capricorn will not be entering Sagittarius, but it's going to come down pretty low in Capricorn degrees, and then it's going to come back up. And for a lot of people that were born in the 89, maybe early 90s, Saturn is going to be going over your sign, and you guys will be having your Saturn returns. If you've already been feeling it since now, then you know that the tests have essentially already begun. But do keep in mind that if Saturn has not gone over your natal Saturn yet, you guys are kind of getting advance warnings of your test, but your test have not begun. Your test will begin when Saturn goes over your Saturn and then retrogrades over it and then goes direct over it again, because it's that 3-part lesson that you need to be a part of and aware of. So now this might be a little bit different with people who natally have Saturn retrograding, because their Saturns just don't have the forward direction that most Saturns should be having, because, you know, retrograding planets don't work as they normally would. So I also expect your guys' Saturns to be a little bit different than everybody else's. Or if your Saturn is direct, but that's because it's stationary direct after coming out of a retrograde, your Saturn can also be a little bit different and weird to calculate. You know, that often happens with people who are born in a later year but have Saturn in an earlier degree. It's because it went direct right after a retrograde, so your degrees are going to be a little bit off. But do keep in mind your Saturn will or the transiting Saturn will have to go over your natal Saturn 3 times for you to actually go over your Saturn return tests. But you should definitely be feeling the pressure of it building up if you are within 89. If you're either 87 or 88, Saturn's already going over your ass, especially 88. You will be feeling your lessons already beginning. You should have a Saturn already gone over your sign at least once. So prepare your anuses, because this is going to be the year of your maturing. Just wanted to throw that out there. And again, Venus is going to be trining this, so we're going to get some stuff going on here. It's definitely a bit of a learning opportunity to the things that are going to bring us a bit of stability in our lives. And again, very powerful and very great for the 88 boys and girls. 89s are definitely feeling that pressure kicking in. And the last thing I kind of really wanted to mention today is just the fact of this Mercury retrograde, right? It's such a weird Mercury retrograde, and I've been seeing it a lot on Twitter posts. I've been seeing a couple people kind of just off mentioning it, even other astrologers kind of noting some aspects of this Mercury retrograde. It doesn't feel normal. This Mercury retrograde is really, really unique, and that's why as soon as Mercury went retrograde earlier this year, I told you guys, this is the retrograde of your life. Do not think that this is a standard Mercury retrograde. This Mercury retrograde is bringing in a whole different ball game, and I've called it and I've known it. This is the type of review that's going to get you started for the rest of this year. I've already talked about it, but I'm still going to say it one more time. This Mercury retrograde is meant for you to review your life and close karmic cycles that have been going on for too long. Right now, the universe is in a very strange lull period in which, fates and directions are being completely reworked, completely redone here, because things that were supposed to happen have not been happening. And it's because things are changing. Now, this is more of a spiritual sense than an astrological sense. I could throw a little bit in here, but if you're not very chill with the spirituality side of things, I understand. Universe is definitely working right now, and it's doing things that are unexpected from our own eyes, especially if you're a type of person that does fortune readings with tarot cards and other spiritual devices. Right now things are not going as you expected, and just be worried that that's the case. So there's a lot going on with this Mercury retrograde that is actually preparing us for once we come out of this filler arc, because once Mercury goes direct, things are gonna return back to how they were before the retrograde kicked in, and is really gonna get us on our feet to be able to move forward and progress with our lives. So just keep that in mind. And my throat is dying. Definitely just keep that in mind. you know, your hard work is not going to waste. It's definitely going to start showing itself once Mercury goes direct. But with that said, hopefully you guys enjoyed today's video. Hopefully you got a little bit of I don't know, not necessarily knowledge, but if you did get some knowledge, that's also good. Hopefully the advice was helpful, really, overall. That's why I definitely love making these videos. It allows me to grow as far as my astrological knowledge is concerned, and it also allows me to provide you guys with a bit of assistance, which, you know, there may be a lot of people that may not necessarily listen to a normal astrology channel, but, you know, maybe I can be a bit of like I hate to think of myself as like a gateway drug, but kind of like a something that you find appealing, and hopefully this show helps you guys on your daily adventures out there in your lives. So definitely do it for you guys. You guys are freaking awesome, and as always, I do appreciate you guys' viewership and support. I really love what I do. I really love this stuff. Lately, I've been engaged in giving people readings. I've been doing several Mars readings to a couple ladies who have requested them. If you guys are interested in any kind of readings, let me know in the comment section below. Let me know what you would, what type of readings you would like, or if you have no idea and you would like a general reading, also let me know as well. I do kind of want to try to provide a bit more services to you guys so that I can be a bit more helpful. So if there's anything on your mind that you would like me to try to engage with, let me know. I'll take you know, I'll kind of feel it out if it's something that I should do or not. I'm always a little bit defensive about trying new things, but definitely always willing to at least try, because that way I can see if this is a direction or not that I should be moving into. So yeah, definitely hit me up. Always appreciating some feedback. And hey, if you're new here, you know, consider giving subscribe. Hopefully you guys enjoy your time here. And as usual, if you don't have your bell on, go ahead and turn it on, because them notifications will be coming in every day at 9 a.m. EST for your daily forecasts. So with that said, thank you all for being here. Hopefully I provided some kind of entertainment or even advice. That would be much better, of course. And as usual, stay safe, stay positive. I'll catch you guys on the next cast. Peace.